Mindset is a lot of it. A lot of people come in thinking the success and the results that some people are getting only happen to some people. And that's so not true. What it is, those are the people that put the work into it. They believed in themselves. They put themselves out there. They did the studying. They did the coaching. They did the training. And then they actually took action. Those are the people who actually make something of themselves and create the business that they want. And the goal, obviously, is to create a business that gives you freedom.
You're listening to The Successful Bookkeeper with your host, Michael Palmer. Listen each week as inspiring guests share their secrets of success to help you increase your confidence, work smarter, and build a business you love. This episode of The Successful Bookkeeper is brought to you by PureBookkeeping.com, the proven system to grow your bookkeeping business.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Successful Bookkeeper podcast. I am your host, and today's show is going to be a very unique one. Of course, we are doing this show via Facebook Live, which will then become our podcast episode. Our guest is a certified professional bookkeeper turned profit strategist after turning her practice into a business that allows her the ability to serve her high-end clients' needs as a strategist rather than a bookkeeper. She is a guest speaker on countless podcasts, webinars, and live training events. Lisa is the owner of the Marcam Group, a profit strategy bookkeeping firm, head of mentoring North America for the Successful Bookkeeper, and creator of the Accelerate to Advisor Mastermind program. Lisa is guiding entrepreneurs and bookkeepers to skyrocket their confidence, cash flow, and freedom with money. Mindset and positioning tools that help her clients prosper exponentially. Lisa Campbell, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Michael. It's always great to talk to you.
Yeah, it's great to have you. And this is crazy times, and we're doing crazy things and trying new things as well, which is a silver lining in all of this, and that we're able to actually do something different. This is the very first time that we've actually planned to do a podcast episode live. And so for those that are listening later to this episode, if you're listening on a podcast right now, this live video will be available in the Successful Bookkeeper community portal. You can go to the Successful Bookkeeper website, and on this particular show, you'll have notes and link to go in there and watch this, because we may refer to certain things or show things. And so we want to make sure that you know what's going on and that you have access for that. And for those of you that are live watching this, welcome. And please leave comments, put chat comments up. We will be reviewing those, and we will incorporate those into the show as well, best that we can. So Lisa, today we're talking about Advisor. And before we get into Advisor, the conversation of being an advisor in your bookkeeping business, what do you think most bookkeeping business owners are struggling with right now?
Well, I think right now, a lot of them are struggling with trying to get, clients' books up to date to apply for funding, trying to answer a bunch of questions about the funding that's available. And then they're just overworked more than usual. And then on the flip side, you've got a lot of bookkeepers who are losing clients left, right, and center because the businesses are shut down and there's no work to be done.
Interesting. And what have been some of the conversations that you've had with business owners around that?
Well, they're a lot of them are stressed as far as they don't know how else to position themselves, other than just doing the compliance work. If the business goes down, what do they have to offer them? So I'm trying to help them understand how to use their knowledge and experience to pivot, to open up new opportunity for ways to advise their clients, even if it's not a specialty that they've learned, like they're not certified in a special method of advising. They still have enough experience that they can use that in some way to help these entrepreneurs in their pivots.
And so how is this struggle, this challenge showing up in their business today? Because not everybody has this figured out. What are you seeing happen to people that haven't figured this out in their business?
Okay, so those people that are qualified to advise, like they know they have more to bring to the table. They know that they can help their clients through this. The biggest struggle that they're facing is that they're trying to stay on top of all the compliance work and now add this as well. So it's double the work because now they're staying up to date on all the updates. They're advising their clients. They're having maybe weekly meetings, bi-weekly meetings, trying to help them through, especially with cash flow. And then they're still, working at night now and probably all of their personal time trying to stay on top of all the compliance work that needs to be done in order to help them in that position of advising, right?
Yes. Now, you figured this out, whether it was just knowing to be on the right track or, being surrounded by different mentors along your journey. Tell us a little bit about your journey and how you found yourself to be in this position of where your business has done the pivot to being an advisory firm and how that's impacted your business.
Well, I found myself in this position, sort of a combination of everything you just said. It was like accidental. I was surrounded by the right people. I was mentored by the right people. And I'm one of those people that tends to, I'll have a goal, but I'll also watch the journey along the way and look at the directions I could be going in, where am I most needed, what is going to serve me most at this point in time. So, I went through the whole process of being that bookkeeper who was, just a solo bookkeeper, working like crazy. And, I had my clients and I did my job and I got paid and that was it. And then once I started talking with you and learning that I could actually flip that into a business where I'm not the one who's actually doing all the work and I could build it into something that was bigger than me, I implemented my systems. I got my workflows all straightened out. And then what happened there is I was able to delegate. So once I started delegating, I ended up with a lot of time on my hands. And that's when I started realizing, I can really learn more ways to help these clients. Because, it's really frustrating when you're working on a client's books all the time and you think, oh, I could talk to them about this, or I wouldn't do it that way if it was my business. Because we see the same numbers, we see the same stories all the time, right? So I decided that I was going to learn how to help people with cash flow. And so I went into Profit First. I started studying that. Then I went to Mastery. And I love it because now I'm in a position where the bookkeeping itself, that's all handled. It's all done systematically. It's so well organized that I spend 100% of my time focusing on guiding these clients through this. It's ideal right now. Like usually it's ideal as well, but right now, even more so, I'm so thankful that I put all that work into it and that I'm in this position right now.
It is remarkable. And that you've done the work, you did a lot of hard work to put yourself into this position now. Now, you also mentor bookkeeping business owners, and you've been mentoring them for a while now. How are they now preparing their businesses for this current time?
Well, they're totally, the ones that have been in it for a while are completely repositioned. They are now focusing on what are they going to do to put themselves out there in a different way. They may not be trained yet in their specialty, but their business is set up, meaning that they are completely systemized. Their workflows are all automatic. Everything is recurring. Everything is the way it should be so that their messaging is correct and they can flip very quickly what their message is. So they don't, in other words, they don't promote themselves as the best bookkeeper around or the cheapest bookkeeper, the fastest bookkeeper. They promote themselves as a specialist rather than a generalist. And great bookkeeping is expected with that.
And how has that, by them doing that, what results have they seen in their businesses?
Well, they're able to now go, like if they've got their Facebook page or their Facebook group or their website, whatever their marketing is across all social platforms, because everything else is set up, they are now able to put on their social media platforms that they are reaching out to their clients. They are saying, we can work with you, we can strategize with you, we can go day by day, work this through with you. They're talking about the help that they can provide as opposed to, hey, hire us and we're a great bookkeeping firm, that sort of thing. So it's a completely different positioning technique. And of course, it does also command higher fees, right? Like you're not charging the lowest that you can charge just to get lots and lots of clients. So they're really specializing and narrowing down who they want to work with, but at the same time, they're being of service.
It's remarkable. I've seen and worked with, it seems thousands, I would say it's in the hundreds of bookkeeping business owners and watched them as they've grown their businesses. And I've seen some accelerate quickly and be successful. I've seen others struggle and get stuck. What I really admire watching some of the bookkeeping business owners that have been working with you is just the speed at which they're implementing and getting there. Often you hear people talk about, it took me 2 years to do something. Example, one of our clients was talking about moving to fixed pricing. And, that's a challenging thing to do for many people. And it was a kind of a conversation in my head is that this is going to take you a long time to accomplish this. Well, recently I had one of our licensees watch one video online and just implemented it. In 2 weeks, he had fixed pricing and he had sold 2 packages that were premium and at a 20 or 25% increase to the pricing that he had had before. In 2 weeks, went from nothing, no conversation of it, kind of really just a thought like this would be a good idea, I should probably do this, to actually having it implemented in 2 weeks. So it actually changed my belief around what's possible. And I think the secret sauce there is that he was part of a community, part of a group, part of a conversation. There was a little bit of accountability around it and something to show people I've done this. And I think a lot of the people in your program, while they're getting such great results so quickly, is because of that. Can you talk a little bit about what's that like and what you've seen?
Well, a lot of that is direction, support, accountability. A lot of us work by ourselves. Even like this is not unusual for most of us. We work alone in our offices behind our desks. So if they're isolated, they don't know there's different things that you can do. There's different people that you can lean on for support. So one of the things that I like to sort of talk about a lot is the fact that you can take any course, program, workshop, that sort of thing, and it's going to serve your purpose for that certain thing. But a lot of it is you need to understand the flow. You kind of need to piece it all together, because understanding where you're trying to go, what you're trying to implement, it takes a series of different things that you need to do. So you need to reach out. You need to know who's done what before, ask them. A lot of it is fear. Reaching out to a community of people that are trying to maybe do the same thing you're doing. Like, for example, the gentleman you're talking about with the value pricing, a lot of that was probably fear. He didn't know how to do it. He didn't know how to implement it. And he finally sat down and watched a video. It made sense and he acted on it. That's half the battle for most people. It's just, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do next. I don't know how to do it. And then somebody please show me how to do it. And then when they figure that out, that's when they take action. They also need to understand that they are worthy of that. There's a lot of people do not understand their value. They don't know what they bring to the table.
I agree completely. And, we talked the program, the podcast, the community, it's called the Successful Bookkeeper Community, the Successful Bookkeeper podcast. Well, what does it mean to be successful? How do you be successful? And often we complicate success. We get, all crazy about success. And I remember hearing really it was a mentor of mine, Matt Church, talked about the 5 steps to being successful in any situation. And the number one step is having a burning desire. Number 2 is the belief. And I think that's what we're talking about right now is the belief. Like my belief was that it took a long time like that. And I'm the one that is helping have all the resources of people being successful. Yet my belief thought that it would take longer than 2 weeks. That shattered that belief, which was super exciting for me to see that and go, wow, I can bring that to so many others. It's like, this doesn't need to take that long. So number 2 is belief. You must believe that it's possible. Number 3 is commitment. You must be committed to achieving that desire. You have the desire, you believe it's possible, you must commit to having that become something. And then number 4 is focus. You must focus on that commitment and have ultimate focus. And number 5 is simply action. Take the actions that are in line with what you're trying to create. Now, when you think and we look at your program and we look at the person that made that result, he had all of those going. He had an incredible desire for building a certain type of business. He has 4 children, young family. He is extremely desires to have a successful business that'll care for his, and he believes that it's possible. He's made the commitment. He was focused on it. He took the action and he had the results. And so some people could I've seen people take 5 years, 10 years, whatever, to get to those levels, yet it doesn't have to take that long. So I think part of that is really our listeners, our people watching right now, what you believe right now is actually just a fairy tale, a story. It's not real. So it can be manipulated, it can be changed and modeled and shaped to be whatever it is that you want it to be. And that's exciting. Even through these difficult times, this is the time to actually be looking at what is it that you truly want in your business.
Absolutely. Mindset is a lot of it. A lot of people come in thinking the success and the results that some people are getting only happen to some people. And that's so not true. What it is, those are the people that put the work into it. They believed in themselves. They put themselves out there. They did the studying. They did the coaching. They did the training. And then they actually took action. Those are the people who actually make something of themselves and create the business that they want. And the goal, obviously, is to create a business that gives you freedom. It gives you the financial reward that you need to support your family, your lifestyle, your dreams, your goals. Maybe you want to buy a house. Maybe you want to buy a second house, or I don't know, whatever it is that you need to do. But it's not just going to fall on your lap. And everybody who's in your community here, they're on their own. They've started a bookkeeping business, whether it's just themselves working alone. Maybe they've got a team, maybe they've got a small team, a big team, whatever it is. They're all in the same boat. They have that entrepreneurial spirit. Otherwise they wouldn't have taken the risk. They would have gone and got a job, got paid whatever number of dollars an hour, but they've taken the risk to put themselves out there as a business owner who provides a very skilled service to a lot of entrepreneurs that need it. And so the more that they train, the more that they get involved with community, like-minded people, the more coaching they get, the more programs, the more any type of information that they can absorb that's going to benefit them is going to help them move forward. And accountability is huge. Don't try to do it alone. Reach out. Let somebody know what you're trying to do so that you can hold yourself accountable. Even if it's just you're doing some, self-paced thing by yourself from a book, tell somebody that you're doing it so that they can check up with you. And you because otherwise you will put it off and put it off and put it off, and then nothing happens. So I just want to make sure everybody understands this does not happen for some people. If you want it, you make it happen.
That's right. People don't just wake up being successful. You're absolutely
right.
And I think that's maybe the theme of this podcast. And the exciting thing about this podcast is that it can happen for you. If you want it to happen, it can happen for you. And so I'd love for people in the chat to comments. I see a few comments coming in, recognizing that the topic that we're talking about right now is important and true, but as well, action, action, action. Reminds me of a quote by Charlie Tremendous Jones. You will be the same person in 5 years from now. You have all the same things. Your business will look identical, but for two things: the books you read and the people you surround yourself. And when we say books you read, what you're importing, what you're uploading into your brain, it doesn't need to be a book. I mean, that's the quote, but this live video, this podcast, resources, other groups, people in the industry, that's the data input into your mind. You're altering, you're shifting what's possible when you put in new information, new ideas. That's extremely important in this formula of success. Number two, that people you surround yourself with, you will be the same person. I mean, there are studies and statistics. I mean, it's proven that who you surround yourself with, you become those people. And so that's the other exciting thing. And I mean, I think it's why the Successful Bookkeeper podcast community group, Facebook group that we're going live in right now is important. You're connecting with your people, but there's other groups, and you lead an amazing group called Accelerate to Advisor. I mean, you're surrounding yourself with people that want to be accelerating to becoming an advisor. I mean, you're in there. You're with people who've done it, who are doing it, who are fighting for it, that are excited about it, that are passionate about it, and that energy and those people bring you along. They bring you along. Now, if you don't participate, if you don't take the steps, if you don't do some of the things that we've talked about, well, you'll get left behind. And in fact, you'll drag the other people down. I mean, that's the other side of the coin, right? Is that you may want to be a part of a group of successful people to be successful, but if you're not willing to be a successful person and bring the energy and passion of pursuit of being successful for yourself, you actually shouldn't be a part of that group. You will be a detriment to the group. So the magic of it happens, but you've got to step up, you've got to be there. And the exciting thing is you're in control of your future if you choose to be.
Absolutely. And I want to comment on something about that. I have found a lot of bookkeepers, because we're introverts. I personally am not. I can flip on either side of that coin. But a lot of people are introverts, and they're so afraid of putting themselves out there visually, like saying to people, even just on a Facebook post on their business page, hey, this is what I can do for you. And I'm not talking about compliance. I'm talking about anything that they could do right now in general, or under normal circumstances. How can they help a business owner, right? But they're so afraid to put themselves out there, and it can be unnerving. And so being part of communities like the Accelerate to Advisor group, like the Successful Bookkeeper group, like your Pure Bookkeeping Inner Circle group, those groups are safe places for you to practice. Do live streams, post something, do a picture, just practice and say to your peers, hey, I'm going to put this out on my business page. Does it sound hokey? Does anybody have any suggestions? These are your peers who are also trying to elevate themselves. We elevate each other in groups. There's no, knocking each other down to build yourself up. That stuff doesn't get tolerated inside these groups. So these people who are in the groups with you and who are also trying to better themselves are totally willing and open to critiquing what you've done in a very nice way. Not what's that word?
Positive reinforcement.
Yeah. Thank you. So I would encourage people to just, if you want to go live to your own people, practice in one of the groups that you belong to. No one's going to knock it down. What's the worst thing that can happen? Somebody's going to say, hey, your lighting sucks, or your mic is terrible, or you rambled or something. I ramble when I do my lives. I don't care. I have a message that I want to get out. Sometimes I get off track. Nobody has to be perfect. The key right now is to be live, be present, and be of service.
Absolutely. And I appreciate the fear that people would have about messing it up. I mean, I do all the time, getting onto this, doing live instead of doing the safe podcast that I do. Well, the safe podcast I do today wasn't the safe podcast when I started it, right? It was like, oh my God, I'm going to mess it up. Nobody's going to like it. It's going to be awful. And then it's now the safe place. So what you fear today becomes kind of the safe place tomorrow. If you take action and take risks, it will evolve. You will evolve as a human being, as a person. And that's what it's all about. A couple of comments I wanted to draw attention to from our community. Jan Vucic said, a lot of distractions right now, social media, customers. You really have to keep your eye on the prize and be intentional about driving your goals. So true. And often what you think is what you attract, what becomes, right? We're not hearing a lot of that message right now for some reason. It's more people are in the fear state, but we have to bring ourselves back to that focus, turn down the news, turn off some of that, limit the diet of that. I understand right now it's difficult because we're seeing history unfold in a dramatic way like we've never seen it before. But we have to keep our eye on the long-term game and focus on the things that we can do. So great comment, and I think really in tune with what we're saying today. And so if you're listening or you're watching this and you're thinking, yeah, that's me, I don't want to mess it up. You can't get good at something and have it look perfect immediately. You have to go somewhere, do something, and so do it in a safe space. Lisa, your comments are right on the money. Do it in a safe place, but just start doing it.
Absolutely. And one more thing I want to address on that subject. People in this industry who have the experience, who are looking to shift into more of an advisor role, there is an element of discomfort that is huge, because think about it. They've probably been doing books forever. Right? They can do it with their eyes closed. Everything is like, quick. They don't have to think about it. It's a very comfortable spot to be in. To be the rookie, again, is very difficult. I did it a few years ago. When I went into Profit First, I was the rookie, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so used to knowing what I'm doing and helping other people. And now I'm learning. I'm the low man on the pole trying to figure this out, right? Very unnerving going into discovery calls with a new skill that I had. It wasn't second nature in my brain, but let me tell you, the more you do it, the more so quickly it comes so easily. So that stepping out of your comfort zone for growth can be very unnerving, and leaning into community is how you get through that.
Beautiful. Well said. Any questions or comments? Thank you, everyone that's posting. It's wonderful. I'd love to talk a little bit about Accelerate to Advisor. Tell us why you created Accelerate to Advisor.
Okay, so I started that program because I transitioned. I did what I needed to do, and I think I started talking about it, on Facebook and in events and stuff like that. And I want people to understand that it's not something miraculous that I did. It's not something unachievable for anybody. It's just a series of steps that I took, series of things that I did to change the way I operated my business. I had people reaching out to me, hey, how did you do that? Well, what did you do next? What about this? What about that? And I thought, well, you know what? Because I've already done it, I can look back and look at my steps, clean them up so that it's, this, that, the other thing, and just keep moving forward. So I wanted to create sort of a program where people could follow and do all the key things that they need to do with all of the support, all of the know-how, all of the critiquing, all of the camaraderie of working with other people who are trying to do the same thing. So like, for example, working on tweaking out your packages and your pricing model. You post that stuff into the group that your members, the other program members are in, and we all give feedback. And because we want to make sure that we're not working inside a vacuum, right? We want to make sure that what we're putting out to the world is something that people can actually relate to and will actually reposition themselves. So I wanted to have something that was very solid, very structured, yet very open as far as back and forth communication. I didn't want to have it just, a bunch of videos and you go follow it by yourself and then hopefully you'll transition. I wanted it to be weekly coaching calls. I wanted it to be group collaboration. Anytime there was an issue, let's go live, let's talk about it, let's work it through, let's do screen share, let's, you want to show me your workflows, see what's going wrong. Is there a break in your system so that, something's not happening the way it should be? Is there something wrong with your positioning and your marketing? What are you saying to people in your marketing efforts? Like when they first look at your page, what do they say? You have 3 seconds to catch somebody's attention. You better make sure those 3 seconds count, right? So I wanted to create something that was like a very good sense of community, very clear and easy to follow with lots of accountability. Anything I can bring, I'm always adding. I'm constantly adding because I just think of different things that might help the members. They also bring things to the table. It's a very collaborative experience.
Wonderful. Well, I think the time is now because we need more advisors working with small business owners. Not only, it's a much better business to be in. It's a much more lucrative business to be in for you as a bookkeeper. If you are doing that work and you have that as a part of your firm, your business will benefit from it, but as well, your customers will benefit from it. And it's needed. It needs to happen in order for small businesses to be the one, to be what people, grow up wanting to be a part of or be starting and running versus going and working just at a large organization or something along those lines. We really need the health of small businesses strong. They can't be strong without great advice and great advisors around them. And bookkeepers are positioned to be the best people to do this. That's the exciting part, right? This is the opportunity of opportunities right now to be that. People are going to be looking around. Who's been helping me? Who's the most valuable person in my business? It's those people that are right up there next to that business owner, showing how things are going, showing cash flow, showing expenses, showing what's really going on in the health of the business. So really, really important. Now, what's super exciting, it couldn't have come at a better time. Tell us a little bit about this masterclass that you're running, a free masterclass that you're running on April 20th, where people can sign up and actually do this live program free. Let's talk about that.
I'm very excited about this. So I took the 12-month mastermind program and I broke it down into a masterclass series that I could present to everyone that gives them sort of the play-by-play of what actually needs to happen inside your business so that you are focusing on being an advisor without also trying to do all the compliance work as well. Okay, so there's a workbook involved. It's got all sorts of stuff in here. This is going to be a download. We're going to go every day inside.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the notebook. So show us what a page looks like out of that. So
okay, so that's the lovely cover with my picture on it. Okay, so there's a lot of fill in the blanks. I don't know if you can see
step by step. We had a comment from Diane Mueller. Step by step moves us forward.
We are going to go
fill in the blanks, step by step.
This is your first page. So we're going to go through literally in the group, I'm going to be teaching and you're going to be filling in with what we need to do. There are spots in here where, let me just find a quick page here. Oh my goodness. You are actually going to build out some templates. You are going to build out your process. Like this, room for, okay, build out your templates here. It's just, I spent a lot of time designing this because I think a lot of people, they want to shift. They want to make change. But the problem is they don't know really what to do, really what that involves. And so this is designed to show you what is involved in doing that. You're going to do this, then you're going to do this, then you're going to do that. Because
remarkable.
I don't want people putting the cart before the horse. For example, you don't want to start working on your workflows if you don't have your systems established yet. Get your systems established, right? And then you incorporate it into your workflow. So I'm going to be touching on all sorts of stuff like that, their value, their positioning, their systems, their processes, their workflows, so many different things in a step-by-step manner. In fact, the first line of the workbook says, this workbook will be your notes, your planner, and your play-by-play process to get out of overwhelming compliance and position for high-value advisory work.
Remarkable.
So I'm so excited to be doing this.
It's exciting. And this is free.
It's free. Yeah.
It's absolutely free. It's a free course. It's not a go and watch a bunch of videos course. It is going to be mentoring and coursework provided by you in a community with a group. We are going to have the community be able to sign up for this and actually begin their journey to becoming an advisor. And it doesn't need to take you 20 years. You can accelerate, love that name, accelerate quickly, just like the example that I talked about. Don't take this process and have it become a reality in 3 years. Make it happen now, right now. And that's exciting for you, exciting for your business. So tell us a little bit, how do people get involved and get signed up for this?
Well, if they're already in the Accelerate to Advisor Facebook group, there's a link inside that they can register to get the download of the workbook sent to them. If they're not, I'm going to put there you go. If they go to www.accelerate2advisor.com/workbook, you just register in there and it says save my seat or whatever. Really, it's so that you can get the workbook because you don't want to go through the training without the workbook. You need this to walk away with. It also puts them into a replay category, so they will get the replays. If they can't attend live. I strongly recommend people attend live as often as they can. We're going to have 2 live Q&A sessions throughout that. So, just go register, and then you'll be tagged inside our list to make sure that you get the workbook, you get the replays, you get everything that you need to know. And it's going to be every day. It's going to be heavy, heavy intensive. It's not all day, every day. It is 1 hour, maybe 90 minutes at the most, every day for 9 days. April 20th to April 28th. Yeah. Heavy hitting.
April 28th. That's 2020. So obviously a podcast, if you're listening to this on the podcast, if you're listening to it the week we've released the podcast, then you still have time. It's happening the next week. But if you're listening to this after, well, you can still go and check things out. There's likely going to be something that you can go through and review at a later time. But right now, there's no replacement for being live. Like you said, Lisa, I encourage everyone to get on and be live and participate and ask questions and start moving this. This is a great time to be doing this. It's always been a great time. In fact, 20 years ago was the best time to be doing this. But today, right now, is the second best time. And this is a great opportunity. And Lisa, thank you so much for putting so much energy and work into doing this and making such a massive difference to our community.
Oh, I'm glad to help in any way I can. I love watching other people rise up. It's a great feeling.
That's why, and most bookkeepers do. That's why I love this community. That's why I love the industry. I love people like yourself. And I always think to myself, my goodness, when I meet a great bookkeeper who cares, who's passionate, who really wants to help, who gets it done right, I think, my goodness, thank the people that they work with. They have no idea. Those business owners that work with those types of bookkeepers have no idea how great and blessed they are to have people like that in their life. I mean, that's awesome. So you're one of those people, many of the people that are looking right now. In fact, if you're listening to this, you're likely one of those people because you actually care. You want to be better. Wherever you're at in that journey, if you have a desire to be great at what you do, to be exceptional at what you do, to really make a difference for your life and your business, and also for those that you serve, you're in the right place and you're on your way there. And we want to see you get there. So thank you for doing that. You are needed. And so a couple of things we want to really make clear. Number one, Accelerate to Advisor Facebook group. It's led by Lisa Campbell. There'll be links all over the place, but you can search it in the Facebook. Get to be a part of that group. There's also a link that Lisa has posted here. We'll likely post it in the chat down the track or have some sort of way for people to find that in our groups as well. You want to go there and sign up to be a part of that group and to go through the process of what it looks like to belong and participate and all that good stuff. So those are the two real key things, and you'll get that workbook, which Lisa showed us, and it's so exciting. It looks like you've put so much time and energy into that, which is remarkable. So thank you, Lisa. Thank you for your generosity and for doing this new live episode of the Successful Bookkeeper podcast.
Well, thanks for having me on here. It's been great chatting with you again.
Yes, and likewise. And with that, we will wrap another episode of the Successful Bookkeeper podcast. To learn more about today's wonderful guest and to get access to all sorts of valuable free business building resources, you can go to thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Until next time, goodbye.
You've been listening to The Successful Bookkeeper with Michael Palmer. For more information and to download the resources mentioned in this episode, please visit us at thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Thank you for listening.